deadlocked in disagreement.
Passing a budget is what we should do.
Budget negotiations are heating up in Frankfort.
You know, if he quit doing silly videos.
What's keeping lawmakers in Frankfort from passing a state budget?
It's been 24 years since a Boyle County woman was last seen. Now deputies are hot on the trail for some answers in the cold case.
It's a day that most of us veterans have been looking forward to for years.
It's been decades since the Vietnam War ended, but its veterans just recently started to be honored.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening to you. They are still not budging on a budget, and tensions between Republicans and Democrats in Kentucky are escalating.
Today, Governor Matt Bevin blamed House leaders for refusing to negotiate and agree on a budget. But the House says they're willing to compromise.
Our Victor Puente is live in Frankfort with our top story at 5:30. And Victor, what issue is preventing lawmakers from reaching a deal?
Well, Amber, the budget battle between both chambers centers around cuts to education and spending for the state's retirement system. The committee that's supposed to oversee the budget is about to reconvene, but they've only got a couple of days to reach an agreement. The Senate and House have each passed their own versions of a two-year budget for the state of Kentucky. The Republican-led Senate wants to keep Governor Matt Bevin's proposed budget cuts, which include cuts to higher education. That money would be used to help fund the state's pension systems. The democratically controlled House has said they would support funding the systems, but will not allow the proposed cuts for education. Bevin maintains the cuts are necessary because the state has billions in pension debt. Monday night, Governor Bevin released another video calling on the legislature to pass a budget, a move House Speaker Greg Stumbo criticized.
You know, if he quit doing silly videos and pick up the telephone and call and try to work something out, it might be more productive.
Bevin held a news conference earlier today urging the passing of a budget.
Getting reelected should not be the #1 driver behind decisions that are made in this town. They shouldn't be. We were sent here to do the will of the people. We were sent here in this session specifically to pass a budget.
There are only 2 legislative days left in this session, and whether or not a budget is passed, the state's constitution says this session can't go past April 15th. Live in Frankfort, Victor Puente, WKYT.
And if a budget is not passed, the governor will have to call a special session to pass one before July 1st.
We continue to track a developing story involving a decades-old cold case out of Boyle County. Investigators have been searching and digging around a home near the Boyle-Lincoln County line for most of the day. That home is on Spring Valley Road off Airport Road. The Boyle County Sheriff says the search is connected to the case of Anna Lee Manning. She went missing 24 years ago. The case went cold until a deputy took another look at the case earlier this year. The Advocate Messenger reports that Manning and her husband lived in a home near the search location back in 1992.
Firefighters in Jessamine County are still trying to figure out what sparked a massive house fire this morning. The fire started about 3 this morning on Hawthorne Drive near Lone Oak Golf Course in Nicholasville. Right now, firefighters believe the fire began on the right side of the house where the kitchen is, but they don't know exactly what caused it. Firefighters tell it's one of the largest house fires they've worked in years. Neighbors even thought it was going to spread to their house.
I went back, got my husband, and we both came out. They told us we better leave because of the sparks flying in the trees.
No one was injured in the fire, but firefighters say the home is a total loss. In eastern Kentucky, firefighters in Johnson County spent hours battling flames there at a home this morning. Firefighters say they tried to get up into the attic to fight the fire, but the flames had spread across the roof, forcing them to leave. No one was living in the house. Investigators believe it was under construction.
State police are investigating after human remains were found this morning. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in McCreary County. The coroner there says the remains were found in the Day Ridge area near the Natural Arch Scenic area. State police believe the remains have been there for several months. They're investigating the case as a homicide, but they don't know how the person died. The remains have been sent to Frankfort to be identified. In Madison County, police are looking for the person accused of shooting at a home. Richmond police say someone fired 4 shots gunshots into a home on Hampton Way. They tell us one of the bullets went through the front door. No one was injured. People who live at the home told police they had just moved in a week ago. And in Jefferson County, a former pastor has been sentenced on child pornography charges. Stephen Pohl pled guilty in January to accessing child pornography. Today, a judge accepted Pohl's plea agreement and sentenced him to 33 months in prison. Pohl used to be the pastor of St. Margaret Catholic Church in Louisville. Pohl apologized to the church and any victims in court today.
A beautiful day with temperatures continuing to climb, and they'll continue to do that tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey's tracking some much warmer temperatures. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Sam. We are warmer now than at this same point 24 hours ago, my man. At this point tomorrow, this map behind me is going to have a lot of red on it, and red in this case will mean even warmer conditions. Right now, we're 2 degrees warmer than at the same point yesterday in Lexington. 0 right on par for Danville. Northeastern Kentucky, 6, 7, 8 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago. Got a 60 showing up into southeastern Kentucky. Heart of the Bluegrass region ranging from 55 Mount Sterling, 57 Lexington, down into Richmond. Danville checking in at 55 degrees as well. Live sky cam. We've kind of aimed it toward a different direction. Our WKYT weather garden out back here now beginning to show off some of the blooms, and you're seeing those same blooms showing up where you live. 57 degrees in Lexington, sunny skies. Winds aren't too bad at around 9 miles per hour right now. Humidity is way down there. Defender radar network, it is a clear sky. Hard pressed to find any type of cloud cover across not only Kentucky but surrounding states as well. Yes, we'll change it up a little bit tomorrow, but temperatures are going to surge towards 70. That's ahead of a strong cold front that will bring thunderstorms and some heavy rainfall into much of central and eastern Kentucky. That's how we're going to close the month of March. Guys, we're going to open up the month of April with a bit of a chill in the air. Just how cold will we get? 7-day forecast has some freeze potential when I come back.
Vietnam War veterans have gone through a lot in their lifetime. 4 years ago, the president declared March 29th Vietnam Veterans Day to honor them.
Today, veterans across Kentucky commemorated the 50th anniversary of the Vietnam War. Veterans gathered at Camp Nelson in Jessamine County. Mike Linden shows us how the veterans were honored.
Ever since he was a little kid, Lin Young wanted to follow his dad and brother's footsteps and join the Marines. When he graduated high school, he signed up.
That was sort of the thing I figured I should do, and so that's the reason I enlisted in the Marine Corps in '67.
Shortly after enlisting, Young was sent to Vietnam. He served the military for a little over a year overseas.
Nothing really prepares you till the first time you're in a combat situation like firefights or even being shelled with mortars and artillery. Welcome home.
To honor those who served in Vietnam, the Department of Veterans Affairs kicked off a national campaign today to commemorate the anniversary of the United States' exit from the Vietnam War.
Our Vietnam vets just weren't well received, baby killers and this sort of thing. And this is a way of trying to just, welcome home.
Despite the negativity towards some soldiers at first, Lin Young says he's glad to see people come around to support him and his fellow veterans.
It's a day that most of us veterans have been looking forward to for years.
In Jessamine County, Mike Linden, WKYT.
A well-deserved day for those folks. Of the more than 58,000 Americans killed in the Vietnam War, just over 1,000 of them were from Kentucky.
You've probably noticed that gas at the pumps is creeping up to about that $2 mark. Our good question today, why is gas going up again right now? Well, here's where we stand with gas prices. According to AAA, the average price of regular unleaded in Kentucky is just under $2 a gallon. A month ago, the average was $1.67 a gallon. A year ago, it was $2.37. I asked AAA today why the increase from a month ago. Lilla Mason of AAA in Lexington tells me that fuel production has dropped because many refineries are doing seasonal maintenance, and also the refineries are preparing what they call the summer blend gasoline. This blend is mandated by the EPA. Now, to make room for that blend of gas, refineries often sell off or draw down on their existing supply. And this drop in supply often leads to higher prices at the pump during the transition. So all of these factors combining to make gas prices jump, at least for right now. To submit a good question, send an email to goodquestion@wkyt.com.